Good morning. Top of the morning. This is a little Zenith. This is a 4B131. This is actually a farm radio. It was intended to be in a rural setting and be powered by some other means other than, at the time, probably 110 volts. This particular one could be powered by a 6-volt battery. And I got this at I got this at an industrial auction. It must have been something they had around the shop there, and nobody seemed to know what to do with it. I really love when that happens. People go for the tools and the forklifts and all that stuff, and this kind of stuff, unless you really got your eye open, kind of goes unnoticed. I paid $5 for that with some other junk, so I kind of lucked out. It's in not too bad a shape. The case isn't peeling anywhere. A lot of these cases, this is kind of technically what they call a tombstone. This is probably from the 30s. And it really doesn't have too many tubes in it. And I was just getting ready to pop it apart. The grill cloth is torn horribly on it, so there's no hope of repairing it. Actually, it has pieces missing, which is too bad. But there's enough of it there, I might be able to take that cloth out and use it as a sample to maybe go up to one of the local craft places and see if they've got something that reasonably might match. Or there's some places that specialize in old radio parts, and one of these things they specialize in is grill cloths. They know people are going to tear them. They get torn. You just look at the things, and if they're that old, they get torn up. One of the things I've done so far is I took the speaker out of the thing. This one's kind of interesting because it's got the speaker and a big tail, and it actually has 3 wires to it. It's kind of a little unusual. It's a conventional permanent magnet speaker. The magnet is actually right here under my thumb. But they have the matching transformer from the high impedance tube amplifier all the way at this end. And the 3 wires, there's 2 for the actual transformer. B plus actually runs through there, and then 1 is a ground to the frame. I'm not sure why they're worried about grounding that, unless there's some electrical connection in there that I don't know. It's built pretty heavy duty. You can kind of see this is the perforation ring here, and inside there, which you can't, a little bit over here, those ripples, that's actually the suspension or the spider. So I've been kind of cleaning that up, and it also has a little puncture in it. Right here, it's got kind of a tear, and interestingly enough, there's also a little tear right there. On the inside of this radio, it has these 3 studs, and it's kind of funny that that tear matches up pretty close to one of those studs. I think what may have happened, at least I believe, for this tear, is this was a part at one time, and somebody put it back in and basically put it over impaled it on that little stud there. This tear here is too far away to have that happen, but I believe that's from somebody dinking around, or maybe somebody pushed the thing up against something sharp and it just punctured the thing. This is a no-brainer. This really isn't too much to worry about. We can repair that. You can repair that at home yourself if you're very careful. You want to set that off to the side. I've kind of taken advantage of the time and not to waste yours. I've taken the 3 knobs off. The knobs are just Bakelite on this one. Some of the older Zeniths, these are wood, and they're just some basic knobs. On the bottom there are 4 screws with shoulders, or kind of washers. I don't know if you can see that, probably not. And then that speaker's just held in with 3 nuts. On the back, one of the first things that catches your eye on the back are these massive power cables. And this is kind of unusual. This looks like giant rubber test lead It's almost, if that's like, it almost looks like at least 10 gauge, if not 8 gauge. It's pretty huge. And then there's a ground and antenna. So we'll just kind of carefully slide this out. Oh, that'll come right out. This probably sits on some little rubber feet. So we'll just put the cabinet aside. And there's kind of the guts of the radio right there. This is actually only 4 tubes. And somebody have some big feet they want to lend me? There we go. Sorry about that. The speaker actually plugs in here. The plugs on this Zenith are kind of interesting on the chassis because they actually have labels that actually says speaker on it. So this is basically a super heterodyne. It's got the, let's see, here's the oscillator converter stage and the IF and the detector AGC, and it's got a little power amp there, about a watt's worth. It's kind of an antenna matching coil. The IF coils are there, power transformer, filter cap, and the mystery can. And also this radio has lost its dial string. That's not a big showstopper. I always get a little chuckle out of folks out in the real world that have trouble with dial strings. I think it's kind of funny. I don't know why, it just amuses me. So overall, this looks like it's all intact, and I'll have to get it into the shop. I don't have a power supply big enough to run this here, at least I don't believe. This wiring is pretty heavy duty. And this wiring is totally gone. It's just cracked beyond belief. It's just about ready to start falling apart. So I've taken the liberty of ordering some wiring. I ordered some silicone braided wiring that's that heavy, and about 6 foot of it, so that'll put that back. I'll have to clean these clamps up a little bit. So there's one piece that looks missing on this radio. I don't know if you know that or not. Let me go through that again. You got 4 tubes, the mystery can, the power supply, and that filter cap, but if it's just a standard super heterodyne, if it's like the All-American 5, there's a little problem there, isn't there? Yeah, I'm going to leave you with that boggle, and we'll probably catch up down at the shop. Anyway, take it easy. We'll talk to you later.